The island of Sicily, the largest jewel of the Mediterranean, is currently facing a catastrophic maritime emergency. A powerful meteorological phenomenon, fueled by a deep cyclonic depression and fierce Saharan winds, has triggered massive high-swell events across the eastern and southern provinces. With waves reaching heights not seen in a decade, the island is grappling with severe coastal erosion, submerged urban centers, and a complete paralysis of maritime transport. Low-pressure systems situated over the Ionian Sea has acted as a vacuum, drawing in the intense Sicilian winds from the North African coast. These winds, traveling across a long fetch, the distance over open water, have transferred immense energy to the sea surface. According to data from the Italian Air Force Meteorological Service, Servizio Meteorologico, sustained wind speeds have exceeded 100 kilometers per hour, with gusts reaching up to 130 kilometers per hour in the Strait of Messina. This atmospheric pressure drop has caused a physical bulge in the sea level, a phenomenon known as a storm surge, which, when combined with high tides, has pushed the Mediterranean far beyond its natural boundaries. In Catania, the sea has reclaimed the famous Viale Kennedy and the industrial port area. Waves estimated at 6.5 to 7 meters have smashed into the basalt seawalls, sending plumes of saltwater and debris into residential streets. The Playa di Catania, usually a tourist haven, is currently under 2 feet of water, with dozens of stabilimenti balneari, beach clubs, reported as total losses. The coastal road connecting Messina to Palermo has seen multiple closures due to sea overtopping. In the town of Sant'Agata di Militello, the force of the waves has collapsed a significant portion of the newly renovated promenade. The islands of Lipari, Stromboli, and Vulcano have been effectively cut off from the mainland. Liberty Lines and Sciacca have suspended all hydrofoil and ferry services due to the Force 8 sea conditions. This has led to a shortage of fresh produce and medicine on the smaller islands. The historic island of Ortigia, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is facing the threat of saltwater intrusion into its ancient foundations. The Font Aretusa and the lower embankments have been battered by relentless swells, prompting emergency reinforcements by the Protezione Civil protection. The economic consequences are staggering. Sicily's maritime economy, which relies heavily on fishing and tourism, is at a standstill. Hundreds of small-scale fishing vessels in ports like Sciacca and Mazara del Vallo have sustained damage. Despite the brave efforts of local mariners to double-moor their boats, the sheer turbulence within the harbors has caused hulls to collide and docks to splinter. The port of Aosta, a major hub for oil and gas, has restricted tanker movement, citing safety risks during docking maneuvers. The Italian Coast Guard, Guardia Costiera, has established a 5-mile exclusion zone for small vessels along the entire eastern seaboard. Governor of the Sicilian region has officially requested a state of calamity from the central government in Rome. The Regional Civil Protection Agency has deployed over 500 volunteers and specialized units to assist in water extraction and the clearing of coastal roads. Residents have been issued a red alert advisory. The sea is not a spectacle right now. It is a lethal force, said the Mayor of Acireale during a press briefing. The public is strictly prohibited from visiting piers or sea view balconies, as rogue waves have been known to sweep bystanders into the churn. Environmental scientists at the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology point out that these events are becoming increasingly frequent. The Mediterranean Sea is warming at a rate 20% faster than the global average. This thermal energy acts as fuel for Mediterranean hurricanes, or medicanes. What we are seeing today in Sicily is a symptom of a changing basin, explains a climate researcher. The increased sea surface temperature increases the intensity of the winds, which in turn creates these devastating swell events. Coastal defense systems designed 30 years ago are no longer sufficient for the 2026 climate reality. The ARPA Sicilia, Regional Agency for Environmental Protection, predicts that the peak of the swell will subside within the next 48 hours as the pressure system moves toward the Balkan Peninsula. However, the risk of return surges remains a concern for the southern coast near Ragusa. Recovery efforts are expected to take months. The reconstruction of seawalls and the restoration of eroded beaches will require millions of euros in investment. For many Sicilians, this event serves as a grim reminder of the island's vulnerability to the sea that both sustains and threatens it. Meanwhile, the autonomous region of Valle di Aosta, nestled in the heart of the Italian Alps, is currently facing one of its most intense winter weather events in recent years. A powerful Arctic front, colliding with moist Mediterranean air, has dumped record-breaking amounts of snow across the Aosta Valley, transforming the picturesque landscape into a zone of high alert and logistical crisis. Starting in the late hours of Sunday, a cold air mass from northern Europe stalled over the Pennine and Gran Alps. This stationary system has resulted in snow loading at an unprecedented rate. In high-altitude areas such as Cervinia and the Gran Paradiso Massif, snow depths have increased by over 150 centimeters, 5 feet, in less than 48 hours. According to the Ufficio Meteo Regione Valle di Aosta, the snowfall intensity reached its peak between 2,000 and 2,500 meters, though the valley floor, including the regional capital of Aosta, has seen significant accumulations exceeding 40 centimeters. The sheer volume of snow has caused massive disruptions to the region's transport network. Several key arteries and mountain passes have been closed due to zero visibility and the extreme risk of snowslides. The municipality of Cone and the upper parts of the Gresini Valley have been temporarily cut off. Local authorities took the preemptive step of closing the regional roads, SR 46 and SR 47, to prevent vehicles from being trapped by potential avalanches. While the Mont Blanc tunnel remains operational, heavy vehicle traffic has been slowed significantly. The Italian state railways, Trenitalia, reported delays and cancellations on the Aosta-Ivrea line due to frozen switches and trees falling onto overhead lines under the weight of wet snow. Utility crews are working around the clock to restore electricity to remote hamlets in the Valtournenche area, where heavy cement snow, high moisture content snow, has snapped power lines. The most critical concern for regional authorities is the stability of the snowpack. The INEVA, Interregional Association for Snow and Avalanches, has upgraded the danger level to 4 high out of 5 across most of the region. The combination of rapid accumulation and high winds has created unstable wind slabs. Experts warn that even a single skier or a slight change in temperature could trigger large, spontaneous avalanches. The Valle di Aosta Avalanche Office has issued a strict warning. The snowpack is extremely fragile. We urge everyone to avoid any off-piste activities and stay clear of steep slopes. While Valle di Aosta is a premier destination for winter sports, the current conditions have forced a partial shutdown of major resorts. Many lift systems have been suspended, not due to a lack of snow, but because of excessive wind speeds and the need for preventive blasting, using explosives to trigger controlled avalanches to secure the slopes. For local hoteliers, the situation is a double-edged sword. While the abundant snow guarantees a long season extending into spring, the immediate road closures have led to numerous cancellations from weekend travelers coming from Milan and Turin. The president of the Valle di Aosta region has activated the Regional Civil Protection Operational Center. Snowplows and turbine blowers have been deployed in 24-hour shifts to keep essential routes to hospitals and emergency services open. Our priority is the safety of our residents and the tourists currently in our valleys, stated a spokesperson for the Protezione Civil VDA. We are monitoring the slopes above the main roads constantly. If the risk increases, further evacuations of isolated homes may be necessary. Meteorologists note that while Valle di Aosta is accustomed to snow, the frequency of these extreme dumping events is changing. After periods of unseasonable warmth, these sudden, massive snowfalls are becoming more common, a sign of the increasing atmospheric volatility in the Alpine region. This puts additional pressure on the Alpine bunkers and galleries designed to protect the roads. The forecast for the next 24 hours suggests a slight rise in the snow line, the altitude at which rain turns to snow, which could increase the weight of the existing snowpack, further heightening the risk of roof collapses and avalanches. A gradual improvement is expected by Wednesday, but temperatures are predicted to plummet, leading to widespread black ice verglas on all regional roads.